Thank you for joining me. This videotape is part of the launch of a very significant planning process for Macquarie University. I have now been part of this community for almost 6 months. And as I have immersed myself in the life of the university, I have taken a variety of inputs and absorbed a wide range of views and information. It is clear to me that Macquarie has a wonderful story to be told, a rich and diverse narrative, which I believe deserves much wider acclaim. Much has been achieved at Macquarie in recent years, but much of the potential is yet to be realised. We need a period of reflection and discernment about our future, not just for the near term in the first instance, but for the far horizon. Accordingly, today I am announcing a major process of planning gathered under the headline, Our University, a Framing of Futures. This video clip and the written materials on my homepage provide key information about the process. I believe that the ideas about our future will be captured best through a process which has two key philosophical elements. Firstly, that the best ideas about what we can become as a university, one which is thoroughly international but distinctively Australian, will come from within the university community and its key stakeholders. Accordingly, the process of planning will be quite deeply and broadly consultative. Secondly, if we are to truly strike out into a bold new future, to realise an aspiration to be different from the pack, we need not constrain our thinking at the outset about what we have now or what we do now. Rather, we need to look into the future with a view of the way the world is changing. We need to dream and conceptualise what might be. Accordingly, the focus of the planning, which I am now inviting you to participate in, will be divergent, where we are comfortable in putting all ideas on the table among our colleagues, where we are tolerant of each idea which is put forward. So before I say a few more words about the background and details, I reiterate that this will be an inclusive and consultative process, and that we should strive to not close off ideas prematurely. Macquarie is at an inflection point. A series of great steps have been taken to see our university on a pathway of ascendancy. We have several distinctive programs for our undergraduate students, our research income has grown, and we are increasing our HDR enrolments. We have made some very significant investments: the hospital, a medical school, the hearing hub. The MGSM is re-emergent. We have started an engineering program. The list goes on. However, it is my view that all of what Macquarie University has been and can indeed become does not come together in a particularly coherent and future-proofed way, especially in a higher education external context, which we all know has become quite dynamic and fast-paced. Our current approach, while proven to be very successful on many fronts in recent years, does not position us in the best possible way to confront the challenges ahead and to seize the opportunities. We do not have an overarching sense of purpose, a reason for being, a way that provides instant recognition, internally or externally, for why any of us can say, that is Macquarie University, this is what we stand for, this is what we can become, this is what we believe in. The focus of this planning is the university, developing a vision of what we can become as a university, not as separate faculties or divisions, not in the next year or 5 years, but out into the future, over the horizon. Together, we will work on developing a plan to navigate into the future with a set of aspirations that the entire university community can gather around. A future that we, together, can dream about and build. A future that our stakeholders will recognise as uniquely Macquarie University, our place in Ryde, Sydney, Australia and the world. And most importantly, our place in the lives and futures of each of our students and our staff. As I mentioned a moment ago, the focus is not initially on faculties or divisions in detail. Their planning will occur in due course. The focus is on what the university should stand for in terms of broad sweeps of our work. What are the big ideas? What should we concentrate on? What are our values and the behaviours which reflect those values? All of the work of the planning process will fall under the title Our University, A Framing of Futures. There will be broad and deep consultation, but the process will also be quite fast-paced. The focus of consultation is initially heavily on internal thinking, and then we will bring in external stakeholders. A number of vehicles will be used. I have been working with the deans and division heads and have invited them to design processes which will work for them internally. Some of those, especially the faculties, will start very soon. Others in divisional areas, which reflect support functions, might begin just a little later as nascent ideas begin to emerge. I will personally participate in as many of those meetings as I'm invited, so I can hear some of the conversations and the dialogue. I will also conduct a range of consultations across faculties and divisions, where people who don't know each other in our community come together for discussions. I will meet with student groups. There will be a subscription email service, which I invite you to sign up to permit your ongoing electronic engagement. We are planning to use a webinar as another vehicle for allowing online discussion. I will be posting regular updates on my homepage. Several other activities will be occurring in parallel. We already have a planning process underway at the hospital and the medical school. That campus has a unique set of opportunities and challenges, and expert inputs are needed for and from our medical colleagues in a parallel initiative. This will inform the university-wide process as well. I have already commissioned and received a report which informs our future work needed in philanthropic development. Since my arrival, I have been very engaged with our colleagues from property about the master plan of the campus, the public realm, our entrances, and the public presentation of the university to the outside world. This work will be informed by a charrette exercise later in the year to pursue further refinements to the master plan and related ideas. A significant part of the closeout stages of this planning process will also require a repositioning of the Macquarie University brand, both internally and especially externally in Australia and internationally. That work will gather momentum in the closing stages of the planning process once some broad directions achieve emerging clarity. Now finally, the planning process begins with wide consultation around a handful of questions which are quite open-ended, questions which will address what sort of university we should and can become. What are our abiding values? The inputs from all this work will be collated and distilled. That process will happen from now until May. In May, with the analyses and distillation of those inputs, I will represent the emergent ideas to the university community in the form of a green paper with an invitation for your further comment. It will then be my intent to, quite quickly, formulate a final plan to take to the Council at their August meeting. I will be updating the University Council regularly from now on. With an overarching strategic plan in place, faculties and divisions will then move into development of 3 to 5 year plans and annual operating plans. This will inform every aspect of our going forward, our academic planning, enhancing the student experience, our capital works planning, our allocation of resources in a transparent way, and our presentation of the Macquarie brand. Finally, I note that while this is a very important exercise, there is much that is already happening at Macquarie University which is outstanding, and we will protect, nurture and preserve many aspects of what we do now. The Our University process is not about change for the sake of change. It is about bringing us together as a university community in a collaborative manner to jointly plan for both our continued ascent to a position in Australia and around the world of both distinction and institutional sustainability. This is our university. This is our moment to create a bright and sustainable future for our university, not just for the here and now, not just for the foreseeable future, but as custodians for the long haul. I invite you to join me on this journey. Our work awaits us. Let us begin.